Hey, family tech man, how's your spirit? Talk to me. Tell me something good. Let me put these headphones on. I did it again. Testing, testing. One, two, one. Okay, we on. How y'all doing tonight? I'm going to start off letting y'all know the name of this program is called TACC. Through Adversity Comes Change by me, Rich Coleman. It's on Amazon. Check it out. Like, subscribe, share, and I guarantee you it's something that you will really enjoy. I want to continue from last night. We was talking about choices, but we didn't get to really go into it because we had a really, really good show last night with my brothers. So I wanna finish up with choices today, going through it, because choices are very, very important in our lives. Like, you know, I've been studying uh billionaires and mega millionaires a lot. And one of the things that all of them say is the choice that you make to become your spouse. That's the biggest thing when you on the road to trying to be successful with everything. Your biggest choice is the person you pick. It's just like business. Your biggest choice is the one you have as a partner or you have working for you or you work for, because there's always different dynamics to people. And, we have to make positive choices. Like I always say, your choices shape your adversities. Your adversities are your lessons that get you to your blessings. And it's a reason for that. It's a reason why your choices shape your adversities, because whatever you put out, that's what your adversity. If you put out good, you're going to have minor adversities. But if you put out bad, you're going to have difficult adversities. And it's like I always go back to the second principle. Like the name of this program, like I said, it's called TACC, Through Adversity Come Change. It's five principles, three articles, one healer. The healer is helping everyone accept, achieve, and appreciate love. But I always go back, I see to the second principle or the third principle a lot. And what the second principle is wherever you at in life, God put you there because He's driving the car and He makes no mistakes. And you must accept the fact that maybe it's something that you done that got you there. So you where you supposed to be because your choices are what got you there. Even though God navigated the trip, but your choices got you there. But you have to be honest enough to say that. A lot of people are not honest enough to tell themselves the truth. You have to be honest enough to tell yourself the truth, like, yo, I did this or I didn't do this or, I made a mistake or however. But you have to be honest enough to make the right choice in how you live your life. Because I'm telling you, I lived for what, 40 something years on the wrong side. And look what it got me, a lot of pain and suffering. But the beautiful thing about pain and suffering, if you're paying attention, pain and suffering will burn off all of the shortcomings that you have so that you can learn to live life on life terms, if that makes sense to you. It's hard to live life on life terms a lot of times because sometimes life is not fair. But if you make the right choices, life will be fairer. And sometimes you can make the right choice that's just not meant to be. So you go through things, in that that period of time or however you say it. But the whole thing is this right here. Once you learn to make the right choices in your life and the choices you make shape and mold your future, this is when you're accomplishing something. If your choices don't uh help you to grow or to be better, is something wrong with your choices because as you get older, and I'm saying this from the perspective of an older gentleman. I know I don't look it, but I'm 61 years old, and I still have a young spirit, so I get it. But the whole thing is, when you are navigating your life and you're getting older, you have to start to retrospect your life so that you can start making the right choices because you've gone through what these choices do that are not positive. So when you start to retrospect your life and look at your life for what it really is, it makes you just start making right choices. And I think I was right here. What choices don't do? They don't control outcomes. You can choose discipline and still lose. Like I was saying earlier, you can uh, make the right choice, and it's just not your time, and it doesn't work. But that's just how life goes. You can choose love and still get hurt, and that's the story of all stories. Choices manage probabilities, not certainties. Let me say that again to you. Choices manage probabilities, not certainties, because nothing is certain in life. Now, what choices can do? They can stack. They can they can stack a small right choice yesterday plus a small right choice today equals an unbreakable composite. Composite. Let me say that again. A small right choice yesterday plus a small right choice today equals a unbreakable composite. They turn chaos into leverage. And see, this is why choices are so important in life. It's only through adversity change takes place, but a lot of it deals with your choices. And when you have the right choices and you make the right choices, it's a whole different animal. Now, what choices can't do? They can't undo physics, can't erase past damage, can't make other people choose you back. Choices are not magic, they are engineering. Like I always say, like we have to not get stuck in our past. A lot of times a lot of us get stuck in our past and we think our past is our future. And the whole time we looking back, God has something right in front of us, trying to give us something. But we miss it because we looking at the past. The past is just a measuring stick for your life now. The things you like and the things you don't like. You make boundaries. And the people who love you will accept your boundaries. And the people who don't, you let them go. And it's just that simple. I know it's hard, but when you get to a certain age and you are a person that don't tolerate foolishness or bull, and not being mean or anything like that. It's just that you've grown to a level that you vibrate on a different level because you make different choices. You make different choices, and your choices help you to vibrate above the fray. Where your choices will lead you, check this out, to your adversities. When I said your choices shape your adversities are your lessons to get you to your blessings. So let me read that again. Where your choices will lead you, to your adversities. Second principle, wherever you at in life, God put you there because He's driving the car. And you must accept the fact that maybe it's something that you did that got you there. So you made the adversities your choice, not away from them. The path you pick determines which walls you'll hit, not whether you'll hit walls. Let me say that again. The path you pick determines which walls you'll hit, not whether you'll hit walls. And you can make bad choices and still not hit the wall. But why would you do that? Instead of making good choices and knowing that you're not going to hit the wall because you're going to do everything in your powers not to. Where your choices won't lead you to a life without consequences. Let me say that again because that's real. Where your choices won't lead you to a life without consequences. We all going to have consequences in our life no matter what, because consequences are the outcome of adversities, also of choices. Consequences are the outcome of choices as well. You can't choose recklessness and arrive at peace. This is why I always say, you have to live right no matter what. And this is why I tell you, wrong don't feel right to me no more. I remember at one time in my life that wrong was right, and I lived it daily. Like me and the brothers talked the other day, that was our life. But wrong don't feel right no more. This is why I've made a change in my life. I reinvented myself and changed my mindset over 10 years ago and created 30 apps advice of business concept and got an honorary master's degree in business while I was in. So the thing is, being able to use my head for more than a hat rack and make better choices in my life. I almost lost my life last year. I got shot 9 times. Of course, that was bad choices. And that helped me to understand that better choices are the things that I need to do for the rest of my life. So instead of seek revenge or act crazy, what I did, I wrote this book right here. I was doing the program on Facebook Live for over 2 years, but I wrote this book. I chose peace over anger. And then now look, I have a podcast. I have quite a few other things that I'm trying to do, and it's going to take time. But inshallah, they will be done. Because I know where I want to go in life. I know what I want to do. And the reason why is because this program, like I said, over 10 years ago, I chose to reinvent myself and change my mindset. And for 6 years, God woke me up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning with ideas. So I chose to have a pen and paper by my bed to write down the ideas. And for 6 years, I wrote down ideas and then formulated them together after he told me it was time to put it together. I got about 10 business plans that I put together out of the 30 apps, devices, business concepts. So I know what I want to do because this program gave me choices. Like it took me 6 years to put this platform, the 5 principles, 3 articles, and 1 healer. It took me 6 years to put it together, going back and forth, along with the other ideas. So that's why I said, like, this program is God's program. It's not mine. You know, I'm intelligent, but I don't think I'm that smart to put something that goes right after the other that can help you heal, help you get rid of all the things that have been a burden on you in your mind, not physically, but in your mind or in your heart for years. Only and a lot of it is just things that only you and God know that you haven't forgiven yourself for them things happening. This is why you can't get over it. And like I tell you, I made the choice to forgive everyone because I was angry for a long time. I was in jail with nothing and I left people, my family straight. And it was like, I ain't got nothing for you. And it's not like I didn't do the right thing. I left them straight. I could have been selfish and kept everything, you know. So I was angry for a long time, but then I finally chose to forgive everyone. Then I chose to forgive me because everything starts and ends with me. See what I'm saying? Everything starts and ends with me. I had to come to that realization. And after I was able to forgive me, that was one of the biggest choices in the world because that's when God gave me peace. And it's nothing like peace. Trust me. It's nothing like having peace, man, and having a connection with the creator. Nothing like it in this world. So it was because I made the right choices. Let me go back. You can't choose cowardice and arrive at respect. The math doesn't work. God even says there's no place in heaven for a coward. So we have to. I mean, and then a lot of us have been scared or cowards or whatever you want to call it when we were kids. But now you're grown. You must do grown things. And it's only one person you should fear is God. Because one thing for sure, two things for certain, you're not going to die until God sends an angel of death. I don't care what happens to you. Look at me, 9 bullets. I'm still here. You know, and I had to learn that because I used to get bullied and all that. By making the wrong choices of messing with people who I really didn't supposed to be with because I had low self-esteem. I wanted to be wanted by people who didn't care about me. So I made bad choices. But what I'm saying is today, you have to make right choices in your life. And that's only through adversity. These changes going to take place. And you have to face these things, and a lot of people are afraid to face their adversities. Adversity is not a bug. It's a feature. Let me say that again. Adversity is not a bug, it's a feature. Your chosen adversities are your curriculum. Your chosen adversities are your curriculum. So if you choose these adversities, that's what you have to work on. Easy roads produce soft frames. Hard roads produce carbon fiber. It's like going through adversity, you know. Going through adversity builds intestinal fortitude, you know, and it builds character. When you have it easy, you don't know how to deal with the hard. So a person who's dealt with hard times will be able to deal with life much easier than a person who's never uh had hard times. And the person who's never had hard times are going to make bad choices because they feel that they are this or they feel they're that. You don't grow despite the pressure. You grow because of it. Like I said, you got to go through it to get to it. And what a lot of people don't understand is whatever God puts you through, He gonna get you through. Of course, he takes care of everything he makes. It's just tests. He's just testing us. He's just trying to make us stronger because he's putting us through these things because he has something greater for us in the future. And you have to be prepared for it. You have to be ready. You have to make the right choices to get there. And if you don't, it's not going to work. You know how many opportunities that came across my lap, but I didn't take heed as a kid to what he was giving me. So I didn't make the right choices. And like I tell people, sometimes he show you what you can have so that you will be ready. You'll start to listen if that's what you really want. So in the future, when it happens, you'll be ready. Just how it go. Lessons live inside the adversity. You can't download wisdom. That's for sure. The only way you get wisdom is going through life's adversities. Period. See, because when you get wisdom, you 9 out of 10 times you're gonna make the right choices. See, because wisdom isn't just knowledge. Wisdom is knowledge lived, understanding lived. You see, so it's a whole different animal. You have to walk through the fire. Your choices build the fire, and that's no question. Your choices are the match. Your choices also build a door open. Let me say that again. Your choices also build the door out. That's the trap and the gift. Yes. Your choices can get you in it or your choices can get you out it. But these are the things that choices do. And you must understand that. And it's only through adversity you're going to be able to see these things because the adversities give you the knowledge and the understanding. And with them too, you gain the wisdom to understanding what it is that's going on. Blessings are not rewards, they are results. Nobody hands you a blessing for suffering. The blessing is the ability you forge in suffering. When you going through stuff, stronger reflexes, cleaner boundaries, real self trust. That is the blessing. Like I said the other night, excuse me, you start to rely on yourself. The order is sacred. Choice, adversity, lesson, lesson. Like I said, your choices shape your adversities, and your adversities are your lessons to get you to your blessings. Oh, excuse me. Skip any step, and you're pretending. You got to go through it just like that. You can't get the blessings without the lesson. You can't get the lesson without the adversity. You can't get the right adversity without the right choice. And see, that's what this is all about, giving you the understanding of how life really works. I wish I had another way to like show you guys, and I have to figure it out, because I'm a problem solver. And I know that I have to use some different wording or whatever because it makes people more receptive. But as I get more into this thing, I'm gonna figure it out. This is new for me, so it's a blessing. Why it's so important to make the right choice? Because wrong choices don't just hurt you, they waste your adversities. You'll still suffer, you just won't learn. And suffering without learning is just pain. You deserve more than pain. And let me say this right here. I kind of get it, but let me know if you get it. Your choices don't guarantee ease. They guarantee your heart. And your heart, survive well, becomes your wisdom. And your wisdom applied daily becomes your blessing. Choose like you believe that. And that's real. You know, we have to choose life the right way. And the only way we're going to do that is we have to live life right, make right choices. Like I tell you guys my mistakes and my background. And of course, I don't brag about it because there's nothing to brag about. I lost everything. But to let you know that no matter what, you can go from that to this and beyond. Never let anything keep you from being what you want or who you want to be. You understand? You can never let anything stop you from being great. You get knocked down 9, get up 10. You get knocked down 10, get up 11, and so forth and so on. You just have to keep striving, keep going, making right choices. You're going to make wrong choices. Like I tell you, when I was doing multi-level marketing, you got to go through your no's to get to your yeses. So there's going to be a lot more no's than yeses, but you have to go through it. You're going to make bad choices, but own up to it and keep it pushing. It ain't that deep. We make life difficult. And at the age I am now, all I want to do is give back. I want to help others. What's the use of having this wisdom that God has bestowed upon me, and if I can't give it to nobody? Don't make sense. And then now you have these platforms where you can give it to the world freely. Alhamdulillah, that's the blessing. So God answered my prayers with that. All I want to do is help, man. I've been through all the other crazy stuff. That ain't hitting on nothing. Because when you behind them bars, everybody forgets you, no matter how good you were. You know, unless you really have solid people in your life. You know, and if you don't, you're gonna get what most of us get when we go in them positions. Shit on. But that's life. But one thing about that builds character. And I always give this to my old head Akbar Pray from Jersey, Newark. I came home after a life bid. He said, "This shit builds intestinal fortitude and character." And he never lied. One of the smartest men I know in this world right now. Very, very intelligent on all kinds of subjects. But yeah, make the right choices, you guys. I just want us to win, man. Like I said, man, I don't care who it is. If you like me, I want you to win. You don't like me, I want you to win. If you hate me, I want you to win. If you don't hate me, I just want us all to win. It's time for us to win as a human race. You have all these billionaires out there and they've got people homeless. You got no health insurance, got this, that, and the other. Can't feed it. It's too much money out there, you know. And we have to come together, man. But we have to first we gotta heal. We gotta go through this process, the 5 principles, 3 articles, 1 heal to help everyone accept, achieve, and appreciate love. And I guarantee you, man, we can make a change. Like, subscribe, share this. Give this to somebody, man, because This is not only a platform, that's a program too that you go through to make the changes in your life if you want to heal. And then you learn the lies from the truths about all kinds of things. And I guarantee you, you'll be a different person. And then you'll be able to help others. Of course, you know how to, when things pop up, you know how to deal with them, and it's a beautiful, like I said, I had to go through it to put it together. So, I'm a totally different person. Anybody can tell you that knows me, totally different person. And I thank God for that. It's no other reason. Because like we was talking the other night, I didn't think I was gonna live till I was 25 the way we was living. So this is all blessings. But I just wanted to finish up on choices. Tomorrow's another topic, and I'll be back. Get your spirit right, your connection with God, and I guarantee you life will get better. Make sure you pray and do the right thing by everybody. Peace. Tac man out. Y'all have a blessed one.